I hope you're just as stoked as me to see the back of winter and feel the weather warming up. And it's kind of natural that we get more attracted to or crave foods that are suited to the seasons. So now that we are in spring and the weather is definitely warming up, I wanted to share with you what I'm making for my smoothie bowl this morning. It's a really good post-workout meal as well. So I usually just freestyle the smoothie bowls with whatever I've got on hand at the time. And today it's going to be like a chocolate berry, like a rich red, but chocolate, kind of like a red velvet style. And to do that, or to do any smoothie bowl, because I do them on the fly, to kind of share with you the principles behind a good smoothie or a good smoothie bowl is basically just having a really good source of vegetables in there, at least one. Today we're using beetroot. You want to have a really good source of protein, which, you know, is a nice clean source of protein, additive free, which I always use these guys from All Good Nutrition, using the chocolate one today. And you want some fruit in there as well, and some healthy fats. With the fruit, if your goal is weight loss, you want to stick with either low carb fruits or just the one serving of fruit. So for example, I'm using today berries and raspberries and blueberries, and I'll top with a couple of strawberries. And now berries are in the classification of being one of the best fruits for weight loss because they're really high in nutrition and antioxidants and vitamin C and amongst many other things, but they're also very low in natural sugars and carbs. So they are a great source of fruit to have in smoothies. Other ones are any of your melon or passion fruit and citrus. They're really good to have as well. That is if your goal is weight loss. If not, I'm going to get into the smoothie bowl. So they're so easy, we're just going to chuck everything in. So I've got one medium-sized beetroot here, which has been washed, peeled, and cut into about 8 parts. So that's about 150 grams approximately. Now I'm going to use about 200 grams of fruit. So another note here is always make 2 serves. Never just make 1 serve of smoothie at a time. Like, I know it's a really quick and easy thing to do, but you've still got to get all the same ingredients out. You've got to put them all away. You've got to do the same amount of cleaning and washing up after yourself. So why not just make 2 serves? If it's not going to go to 2 people straight away, it can go in the fridge in a jar, ready for you the next day. It'll stay good for between, up to 36 hours I've kept smoothies for, and they're totally fine. So we want to use frozen fruit because we're making a smoothie bowl. I'm going to put 100 grams of, I'm going to put 120-ish grams of frozen blueberries, and then I'm going to make the remainder up in frozen raspberries because, these are a little bit more tart, so I like blueberries better. But around about 200 grams of frozen fruit is what you want to use, your choice of frozen fruit. And so when you look at that and break it down, you're only having 100 grams of fruit per serve, so totally fine. And fruit's not something we want to cut out of our diet. It's just, it's got so much nutritional value to back it up. You never want to cut fruit out, but if you are looking for weight loss, it's just good to have an idea of what fruits you can eat kind of in moderation and what fruits you can freely eat. Now we've got our fruit and our vegetables in there. Next is our source of good fat, which is going to be avocado. I always use at least 1/4 to 1/2 of an avocado, depending on the size. So like a minimum of 30 grams of an avocado, which is usually about 1/4. And this one's quite small, so I'll probably end up using the whole thing, but let's just see. So there's 30. All right, 40, so a little bit off. but anywhere, minimum 30, and you don't worry about going over, they're good fats, so don't worry about that, having too much avocado. Next, I'm gonna increase the good fats again with some homemade nut butter. This is to peanut butter, but you can obviously make any blend that you want. Okay, so we're just gonna put in, I'm only gonna put in about 1 big spoon. Yeah, about 30 grams. And then if you want, you can put a little, dollop of peanut butter on the smoothie bowl when you present it. Now, the next thing we've got is that the important thing is our good source of protein. Now, I love and I've tried that many protein powders in the past, believe me. Being in the personal training industry, you get to try lots of stuff and most of it is disgusting. But I'm sure you've had the same, where you've probably bought some protein and didn't like it and you got a whole kilo of it. Well, make sure you try these guys out. And not only, I like it for so many reasons, but I'm just going to use, say, 1.5 scoops here. So before I started using this, I would put a couple of medjool dates into the smoothie to make it a bit sweet, have, a bit of nice flavor. But because this is naturally sweetened, I don't need to add those dates anymore, which means that I'm reducing the amount of carbs that I'm eating as well. Even though dates are really good and high in fiber, I eat plenty of them in other things. So having that type of protein is really good. So it's made from pea and hemp protein, and it's got medicinal mushrooms in it and all kinds of goodness. So if you need a good protein, cannot recommend that enough. Now we've got our vegetables, we've got our fruit, we've got our good fat, we've got our protein. Now we are just going to add a bit of our liquid, so whatever you want to choose. I'm just going to use water today, but you could use like a dairy-free milk if you wanted it a bit of that like kind of creamy style. Let's see, I'll start with about, let's say 150 grams of water. Probably going to need a little bit more, but if you want a thick style smoothie bowl, always start with a bit less water and you'll see as it's blending, or you can check it if you need to add a little bit more. And just for some good measure, I'm going to throw in a few ice cubes as well. Say 100 grams of ice. Now, pretty much the only difference between a smoothie and a smoothie bowl is the amount of liquid that you use. And if you opt for using frozen fruit rather than fresh fruit and less liquid or more ice, that's basically it. So if you've got a good smoothie recipe that you want to change into a smoothie bowl, all you do is just reduce the liquid or up the frozen ingredients or a bit of both, and there you go. So let's give that a blend up and see if we need to adjust it in any way. So using your TM6, you can use the blend function that's at the highest is speed 8 for 30 seconds. So I'm going to do that. But if you're using a TM31 or a TM5, just set it up for 30 seconds, speed 8, and then we'll see if you need to add any more liquid. Awesome. So that is looking a really good smoothie bowl consistency. See how thick it is? It's not even really moving when I can show you straight on. So let's see, I'll give it a little stir and see if that is really good. I'm just going to blend it for 30 seconds more just to fully blend through that beetroot and everything, but I don't need to add any more liquid. So start with 150 grams and see how you go. That's just looking a touch smoother now, which is awesome. You could also, if you want it more chocolatey, I was going to, but I forgot, but put in cacao powder. So you'd only put maybe like 2 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon because it's quite dark flavor. Now, your smoothie bowl is all about the presentation, right? You got to make it look amazing. So take a bowl, add the smoothie, and you have a smoothie bowl. No, we can make it a little bit prettier than that. So, like I said, this makes 2 serves. So this is 2 generous serves here. I'll transfer that to a jar later and put it in the fridge. Now, so we've got our nice one serve there of the smoothie bowl. And on top, you just want to put a little bit more fruit if you want. So I've just got 2 strawberries cut up here. Again, strawberries are in that berry family where they're nice and low in carbs, but they're full of nutrition. They've got so much nutritional value. Just make sure you wash them too, because berries are kind of like on the high spray list with pesticides and things, unfortunately. So if you're not buying organic, just make sure you give them a good wash, or even in some diluted apple cider vinegar, add some apple cider vinegar to the water, just a little nip, and that will help take chemicals off. I've got my no grain granola here, if you can see that properly. It's a homemade granola from my programs. I always have some of that on hand because it's just so amazing. And I go through it quite quickly. So top it with some of that. Like I said, you can add a little bit more peanut butter. I will. So like that. Just another little spoon. Side there. And to finish it off, I'm going to add a sprinkle of hemp seeds, which is a really good source of essential amino acids. So one of the, there's only a handful of foods that will give you, of plant-based foods, that will give you all your essential 9 amino acids. So hemp seeds is one of them. So get onto those. And then coconut. So I'm just going to add a little bit more coconut. Even though there's coconut and hemp seeds in my granola, I'm just going to add a little bit more because why not? And there you go. So we've got the smoothie bowl. It only took 1 minute to blend up. We've used a vegetable, the beetroot. We've used a couple of sources of low carb but high nutrient dense fruits. We've used a really good clean source and delicious and full of nutritional value protein. And what else? We made it pretty. So this is going to be quite filling. It's going to keep me going for a while. And I hope that you try that at home. I'll come and give you a look. So here you have it, the gorgeous dark red smoothie bowl, which has got all the goodies in it, vegetables, fruit, nice and pretty, lots of nutrient dense ingredients there. So give it a try. Make sure if you do give it a try that you tag me at ThermoFit with Noni so that I can see how yours turned out and what you did with it to make it pretty and what you put inside it using those kind of principles of making the good smoothie bowl. And I would love to reshare it. So thanks.